Today's video, we're going to talk about UGC ads and how user-generated content ads produced by influencers themselves. You hire an influencer to make what looks like an organic social post, and then taking that material and then using it as your ad for your ad campaign that you want to run is not just profitable, but like 10 times as profitable than regular UGC content, where you have what looks like a regular customer reviewing your product or service and then using that as an ad, which works great. Don't get me wrong, all in itself, but you take it way to the next level when you have an actual paid influencer reviewing that product or service instead and doing the same thing. I've talked about in other videos before how UGC ads are the best, most profitable ads that you can run on Facebook and on YouTube, on Instagram, and this takes it to the next level. I'm going to talk about how you could specifically do this today, how we specifically did this for one particular brand, and then with that, the type of brands and the type of companies that this will also work for, so you understand how you can do this for your own self and for your own company. I go through the entire process step by step, how to actually get this executed so you can replicate this for yourself, and as well as the ways that you can do it wrong, because you can screw this up if you don't understand and you certain things, and you take shortcuts with the process and say, oh, do I really need to do that? Do I really need to do that? And instead of just doing it right, like I mentioned, and you follow this to a T, it's gonna work. I promise you. Influencers are kind of synonymous with celebrities. In fact, influencers, I want to say, have even more pull than celebrities do, unless you're talking about A-list celebrities. In terms of influencing your market, the reason why people use and have used in the past celebrity endorsements is because it'll be able to add credibility to your message, in that if you go straight to your market with your message, regardless of how good your product or service is, many times it just won't get believed. And especially so in any kind of like sketchy market like dieting, hair regrowth, where people are just naturally skeptical in general. It's like buying your credibility, if you will. So, whereas we may not be able to afford a celebrity endorsement, we all can afford an influencer endorsement, because if you're a small company, you just buy an endorsement from a smaller influencer, which a lot of times that's only going to cost a couple $1,000. Or if you're a bigger company and you want to go, balls to the wall with it, you can buy an endorsement from a big influencer who has 1 million subscribers. Then it might cost you 15 or 20 grand to get a dedicated video. But that is nothing in the grand scheme of things in terms of what you can do with that ad once you have it. So, and then in terms of monetizing it, I'm going to talk about how you actually frame that ad, how to have the influencer plug your product, how to actually use that plug in your advertising campaigns to create a scalable ad campaign for yourself on Facebook, YouTube, and so forth. The way that we're doing it for clients that are affirmed. So with that said, getting into the content and the process here. So the first thing to keep in mind, video ads, by the way, do better than any kind of other ads, static text ads, image ads, because you can cram so much more context into a short video in terms of you only have so much time to capture someone's attention. If what you have is really, really interesting, an image can still do a lot of damage, if you will. But, with the TikTokification of people's minds and their attention spans being less than it once was, video will do a lot for you, or a lot more for you, because with that short attention span of somebody who doesn't know, like, and trust you already, and is it what you have is not a groundbreaking technology or something like that, it can get a lot across in a short amount of time, and the short amount of time you actually have to get enough across to pique the user's attention and keep watching or listening than what a static ad could do or text could do by itself. If you're a copywriter by trade, you already know that if you're going to write what they call like a sales letter or a page that's going to sell the user on buying your product or service, what you're really doing with the headline is selling to read that second line and the second line just sells right in the third line, and the user never really wants to read the whole thing, but it's what you said is so captivating they have to watch a little bit more. When you're using influencer in your ad, that's essentially what you're doing is you're saying, hey, it's so, because if you're a golfer, you know the top influencers in the golf space, so if they say anything, you're going to, of course, pay attention to it. So you basically got your foot in the door with the user you want to sell to, and then what they say is obviously in the first part of what they're saying sells them on watching a little bit longer and so on and so forth. And if you're good at writing a script for a video ad, that's what you're able to do all the way through that thing. A video ad script that will work is going to be not, hey, we were sponsored by XYZ company and I'm here to tell you what I think. No. Granted, a lot of influencers may not get with the program of how you want to do things here, but if you really, truly want it to work, it has to look like an organic, I made this video because I wanted to share my experience that I had with XYZ product. I tried it out for XYZ. It actually worked really good. I'm going to explain to you like what happened with it and tell you my story. That's exactly the angle you want to go with this video ad in terms of scripting. And what you literally want to do to make sure, because if you're going to invest 10, 20 grand in having an influencer plug your product, you got to have, and especially since you're going to be using it in an ad campaign, you need to have your script down pat. If I'm making a video ad script for a product that I am trying to promote for myself, I'm going to be spending a whole afternoon just writing that video script to get it absolutely perfect. The script and the flow of that script has more impact on your results of your future video ads than does the visuals itself. So anyway, so you write out your script and then you go to your influencer. If you have like you're in the golf space, like I talked about a minute ago, there's 100 influencers that you can pick from. In that case, what I would recommend you do is actually go hire a virtual assistant and reach out to all 100 and say you're willing to pay 10 grand for a video plug. And a lot of them are going to obviously say no. A lot of them are not going to respond. But 5 or 10 will respond. And based upon your 10 grand being enough, you'll get to decide of the 10, okay, this one's the best bet because this one has the most subscribers, this one has the most influence, and you'll go with that one. That's how you're going to get your best bang for your buck in terms of the influencer itself versus reaching out to people and the first one that says yes, going with it, because you're only going to get 20% of the value than if you did the shotgun blast out there to every possible option in the market. Just like they're going to, take the best deals, you need to be able to, put your offer out there and take the best deal yourself. So you get your influencer to do your video review, and it could be an influencer on Instagram, by the way. It doesn't really matter there per se, even though YouTube long form. And if you have something that's particularly technical to cover, you're going to want to go with YouTube influencers. But with that said, you're going to have them shoot the review, and you're going to want to have as a part of your terms with this influencer that you're going to want to see what is on there before it gets published. Most influencer deals are like this. They're going to say, here's what you're going to do, just like I told you to do, if you're new with this. And before you post it, I want to be able to approve what's being posted. If you're going to spend that kind of money, that's what you're going to be able to dictate, and they're used to that. You're going to edit it if necessary, but more than that, once you approve it and they post it, what they post, because they're going to edit it a little themselves, you're going to take what they post and edit it again. Because what they share isn't going to be what's good, the most ideal format for a YouTube ad to follow this up with. And yes, you'll get some sales, by the way, from the immediate share with that influencer's audience, but that's not where the real money is. And that's where influencer marketing and people that are considering it go completely wrong. The money is in the endorsement itself that you can then leverage with an ad itself. That'll make an ad campaign to the same audience that you could advertise to, anyway, 10 times more productive than what it would be otherwise because you got that influencer endorsement. You edit it down, in other words, and you take every and every little gap in there out of it. And the introduction where they say, hey, I'm going to review blah, 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 blah. respectively, you're going to even edit that out. And all you're going to have, it starts where this product is blah, 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 blah. Like where the actual review starts. And that'll work as long as the people that are going to now see your ad know who that influencer is. And that'll give you the best results as per our experience doing this for our companies that we run, as well as our clients at our advertising firm here. So you got your condensed down version of this influencer plug. And then you're going to push the ad out on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, every platform that you can. That has the kind of audience that you know you can sell to. The very first thing you do, which nobody thinks about doing, is you advertise to that influencer's audience itself. If it's a big enough influencer on Facebook, you can target their followers by itself. On YouTube ads, it's easy to target any size follower. You can target any channel you want with your ads, and only one channel. People are disputing that you can target just a channel or just a single video. You can actually still do that. Google is saying you kind of can't, but it's not really true. I promise you, you can still do this. Anybody who watches that influencer's channel for the next 6 months is going to be hammered with this ad. And because they already trust and like and respect that influencer, whatever sales you got from the initial plug that they did on their channel organically, it's just gonna amplify and multiply what you've already made. So once that initial review goes out and you start getting some sales, you should be jumping up and down for joy, because you know the ad that you promote to the same follower list that watches that channel is gonna work, that much more. It's gonna work amazingly well for you. Because naturally with YouTube ads or any of these ads that you're running on Facebook or whatnot, the question as to whether or not you can run a profitable campaign comes down to, can you narrow down your targeting enough to get to where there's actual buyers and get rid of all the waste? Well, anybody who follows that influencer is effectively a buyer. So you're only getting in front of people that want to buy, if you will. Makes everything super efficient. Once you got all the value out of that person's audience directly itself, you're going to then market to anybody who knows the influencer in the market. So going back to the golf example, you're going to market to anybody who is in market for that golfing product or golfing course that you're trying to market and sell, that also knows that influencer. And this is where the real money comes in, because there's a hell of a lot more people out there to sell to that would buy your product that don't follow that influencer than there is people following that influencer, no matter how big that influencer is. And this is why it's worth paying more to get to a bigger influencer, because the bigger the influencer, the more of the general public knows, likes, and trusts that person, and therefore makes it so that you can sell to that more people because of the influence level, or the general notoriety of that person, so to say. With that said, you can actually, go ahead and just run that ad out to anybody who's in market for product. And when I say in market, I do mean in market. When I say in market audience, the best thing to do is to create a custom intent audience through your Google Ads account to target people who have recently searched for that item. And so let's say you're selling golf balls, it would be anybody who searched for buy golf balls for sale, golf ball deals in the recent past. You can do that with custom intent audiences. Then you run your YouTube ad that has the influencer plug in your golf balls to the person who's already in market for golf balls. It's a perfect one-to-one match. That's really where the results are going to be. That and any videos on YouTube where somebody's considering buying golf balls. What are the best golf balls to buy? What are the cheapest golf balls to buy? And that actually will convert better, because anybody who's actively looking at content related to the topic of what you have to offer, they're going to respond at a higher rate. But both of them should be profitable, because the influencer has so much pull that'll work. And you'll be surprised how much that ad will pull versus an ad that doesn't have the influencer in it. People that see something on the news or in front of a big enough influencer that people already know is the big dog in that space will take something that you're saying so much more seriously, to the point where what we've done at our agency many times is just suggest to our clients, hey, you need to go run a native an ad spot on TV on Fox News or something like that. And you can actually buy a review of your product or service on that channel, just so that, and on that program, just so that you can take that mention and put it in your ad. Because if you lead that with that in your ad, that ad will now have serious effectiveness, because when people see Fox News and a product on there, they're immediately taking it seriously, whatever it is. Versus you could say the same exact thing without that, and it has 5% of the effectiveness. That's just how it is. People take messages seriously when an authority are talking about it, and if it's not authority talking about it, it just doesn't have any pull, so to say. So anyway, that's what you're going to do. Those are the 3 things you're going to do, is target people that follow that influencer, people who are in market and have searched for your product in the recent past and to buy it, people that are looking for tips on how to buy it on Facebook or on YouTube. And if you want to add people who follow your competitors, if they just sell what you sell by itself, target them as well. And then if you want to go one step further here as well, you're going to target people who are reading articles about, going back to the golf ball thing, how to buy a good golf ball. Make sure you have your video ads show up there, which you can actually do that through your Google Ads account as well. Run video ads off of YouTube and just on the general display network. You can do that if you set up your campaign the right way for that. And so you're basically getting it in front of every single person who's in market for sure. It's like they can't miss you. You could even, by the way, go ahead and anybody who, we've done this before as well, anybody who's in market for golf balls, instead of just promoting your golf balls, send people, have an ad that says XYZ influencer reviews and tells the best golf balls in 2025. And then have that go to your video ad and have that sell it. Yes, there's an extra step involved for that person to get to your product per se, but once they get to your product, they're basically 100% sold. So, and that can often be a better way to promote what you have in itself when there's a lot of competition. It gets rid of all the competition. It's just like when we can send people to an article that looks like it's on a industry journal, that then links to the product or service in question will often do better than sending them directly to that product or service directly, because it has now the stamp of approval from an authority. So anyway, going back to the topic at hand, once you've done all that I just talked about, that'll be profitable all in itself already. You want it to be even more profitable, what you want to do is have 5 more UGC ads going directly after it. So you can actually have a funnel set up to where if somebody sees your first ad of the influencer that we made, you can have 5 other UGC content ads that show random customers that have reviewed your product that says, hey guys, I use this XYZ product and here's what it's great and here's why. That's the kind of style of a general UGC ad that we're using that works well. And you can have that ad show up for them, and then later on, a few hours later, they'll see another ad like that from another customer. Later on, they'll see another ad from another customer, and then the effect of seeing everybody talking about this product makes people think, wow, this product is the next change in the world. But it's all artificially created in the user's mind by you, essentially, with these ads. Hacks into how human psychology works, that more times somebody's heard something, the more believable it is. Because if everybody they see is talking about something, it must be real. So you're just creating that buzz effect artificially through the ad sequence you have. So I would recommend you do that, and that's going to make anybody who saw the initial ad 2-3 times the rate than it would otherwise by itself. So when it's profitable, you're just going to amplify whatever effectiveness that had for you in and itself. Your regular ads at that point in time, once they saw the UGC ads, they're totally aware and trust your solution. Then you could go with your heavy sales ads, or at least one of them where, you're saying, XYZ golf ball is great because we have a sale, blah, 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 blah. Your normal commercial, what you would see, a commercial plugging a product. And then I would go with your cross comparison. See the XYZ golf ball product compared against the other top 5 golf balls. And so to submit, because what you're doing here is you already got the trust and authority. They know it's the most trusted option, but now you're telling them with these other final ads specifically why it's actually better than the market, so they can justify it with logic. People buy with emotion and they justify it with logic. You appeal to people's emotions first because it's more effective to do that. If you go with just a logical approach with the market right away, you're only going to get so much out of that. And that's just how humans work. So once they have bought in emotionally, and you come back later on with the logical sell or logical point of why you're better, then they're saying, I don't feel guilty about buying this just because an influencer said it was good, because I actually understand why it's a smart choice. And there's your overall funnel. Then you're going to have cash coming out the other side like crazy. With all that said, we did this in the performance auto part space that we're heavy in now. And we sent the product to the influencer reviews it, promote the hell out of it to the influencer's audience for months after. Eventually it's going to run out of steam. The influencer audience is only going to work so long. Then permanently though, it goes to anybody looking for that particular product, supercharger product. Then you have other people that have used the product, testimonials, people that you've paid that used the product that would be willing to review it, or actors if you had. We've done that before, unfortunately. And then you have all your regular ads on the back end that just explain why the product is good, worked extremely, extremely well. Whereas just going directly to them that are people in market with our product that we had, it works a little bit, but it's if you haven't had an experience trying to do video advertising or ads on Facebook and so forth, going directly with a direct pitch to people on these platforms, even if they're in market for what you have, it is extremely hard to get your campaigns to be profitable unless you have a really, really great product that's really in demand or service, because people don't trust what you're saying. They don't believe what you're saying. Many times you've got to have the authority rubber stamping and saying what you have is real and it does work for the rest of your message to be recognized by the market that you want it to be recognized by. And so it's worth it to pay that influencer to review it, because it's going to make the ads 20 times as effective doing that than it is just going directly with the direct message, which is why the UGC ads work so well. The UGC ads actually where it's just it looks like a customer reviewing that product that they randomly shared on social media. The reason why that works is A, it doesn't look like an ad, so they're going to pay attention to it. But B, it obviously is what somebody else says about you is 4 times as powerful as they say it than what you could say about yourself. And then when you add the influencer angle to it, it just takes the whole thing on and puts it on steroids. Basically going to be worth it every time to take the UGC ad, though, from what we've done this several times now, to actually have it done, or at least one additional UGC ad with an influencer, particularly to lead the funnel every time versus just the UGC ads by itself. And then that ad that you lead your market, every person that you want to sell to in your market, it's going to get paid attention to right away because it's an influencer they know only reviews certain products that are super serious. And in a lot of markets, just look at it from the consumer's perspective. If I'm a golfer, I want anything that's going to make my golf game better. If an influencer here that I know only reviews certain products that are new and trending says that this product is good, I'm going to try it literally because they said it was good. Forget about then seeing it and then seeing 5 other people talking about how good it is. And then also, having it, tested side by side with all the other products on the market, proving how good it is. And it is actually the best product on the market. And that if I was even tempted to go with something else, it would be dumb because they've proven to me that it's the best product on the market. So not only does this type of solution work, but it's the best solution like it on the market. You can see why this would work so well. People are looking to buy what you have. The only question is whether they're going to believe what you say that your product or service does, it actually does that. That's the harder challenge that you have when you're doing any kind of display advertising for your business that is non-search engine advertising to get your campaigns to work. Yes, you have to narrow your advertising down to people who are going to buy. That is challenging, and a lot of people do screw that up. But once you've gotten there, it's the hardest thing is just getting the message believed. And getting the message believed, it's not hard at all if you just buy the endorsement from the person that they already know, like, trust, respect, and treat anything that they say as gospel. But it's easier to do that than it is to get that same trust that you need to get the sale any other way that I personally know of. So, and basically where the rubber meets the road here, the money you're going to spend, to get on the extra advertising it takes to get each sale, you might as well invest that into the influencer, because that influencer cost is only going to cost you money one time, whereas the ad spend that you're wasting to get each sale to promote this for the next how many years, that's way more money than what the influencer is just going to cost. You might as well just get that done up front for yourself. And for that matter, display advertising, if you haven't had a lot of experience with it, you probably aren't going to get a good ROI from it, or should I say, you're not going to get past break even with it because, like I said, people don't trust stuff that they see online anymore. If they've never seen, heard, or know anything about it at all, the chances you're going to interrupt them and say, hey, this is the best thing since sliced bread, and then they instantly believe you, it's very, very hard. Take it from me. If that's you, they never seen and heard about this solution before, or heard of your brand, if it's a known solution, it's going to be very hard to get your ads to work. And at the very, very least, you're going to have to run your ads for a long time at a loss to find the small part of what you're doing that is effective. Whereas if you got the influencer review right away, it'd work basically right away. It's really just like an instant cure-all for getting the message across to your users and to your market and get it believed right away than anything else you can try. So when I say 10x, to sum this up though, a UGC ad is the best converting ad that you can find. That a lot of times may be profitable. You get a top influencer in your space to review your product in a similar way, not the same, but in the way that I talked about in this video, it'll be 10 times even more profitable for you because it's just that powerful. But at the very least, you should be doing UGC style content because that works so much better than a typical commercial that they would see that just flogs a product or service. And many times that regular pitch just doesn't work at all because people ignore ads, and with your profitability linked to click-through rate and people, recognizing your message and not ignoring it, when they see an ad, the brain shuts off and they say, that's an ad, skip over it. UGC ad, kind of like short circuits the process. It gets them to recognize what you're saying before they realize it's an ad, and therefore, or even that it's an ad at all, you're going to get that many more shots at a sale than what you're going to get with a standard ad that 75% of the time they're just going to scroll right past it because it's an ad and they don't pay attention to any ads, or try not to anyway. So you should at least go UGC anyway, and if you got any kind of money to work with, go straight to the influencer UGC style ad, because it's just going to be worth every penny going in the extra little step. And I call it little step. It is little if you got the money to dump into the influencer review right away. But you might as well just do that because it's going to be worth it every time for you to basically do that if you got any kind of cash on deck to deploy. So anyway, with that said, I want to wrap it up with that. If you have any questions, leave me a comment below. I get back to every single person who leaves me a question or comment on this channel within 24 hours time. If you haven't subscribed to this channel yet, you absolutely should. What are you doing if you haven't subscribed? Because this information on this channel I'm giving you here, it's free information that's based upon millions of dollars worth of ads testing that we're doing at our advertising firm on an ongoing basis to give you what works and what doesn't work for free here, which is totally unique in that 99% of the information you're going to find on YouTube or elsewhere is coming from people who don't really do ad testing for a living 40 hours a week. They sell courses. They don't run any kind of ads. They pretend like they do, and they don't. I can tell you that for a fact. Therefore, if you want real information and what really works, you want to subscribe to this channel because then you're going to get it here, and you're really going to get it here. That said, also, you can find my written content that has just as good information, if not better. You can find that at guaranteedppc.com/blog. My blog has actual step-by-step advice on how to use specific PPC strategies and apply to your business that are our go-tos at our agency to get the kind of results that we need to guarantee results at our for them and at our firm, that our firm runs everything off of. So if you haven't also checked out my blog, but you like the channel, you should definitely check that out as well. What are you doing if you haven't checked that out already? And then with that, if you are looking for somebody to execute stuff that I talk about on this channel, or just need someone that is knowledgeable that can push your numbers up on your campaigns, we offer an ad management service here at Guarantee PPC that's different than all other ad agencies out there offer, in that we offer to get you more results on your campaigns up front before we take a fee. And that increase in profitability that we're going to provide for your ads up front is going to be in excess of what our fee actually is. So we're not actually taking any money from you at all with our offer per se. So it'd be same ad spend, raising your sales a minimum amount. If we do, then monthly fee kicks in after that. And which should tell you about the quality of the data that we're giving you on this channel, that we can even offer anything like that, first of all. But if you're interested in that, you can also reach out to me at guaranteedppc.com. We don't offer that service to just anybody. We got to know we can get great results with your stuff. Can't defy gravity with what you got there. You got to have something that's got potential. But we offer a free consultation. I'd be happy to speak with you about the opportunity and see if there's something there. We also offer ad templates. If you work in a niche that we've already ran ads for and in before, you should take the winning ads, landing pages, campaign templates that get the results we've got in your niche market already, if we've gotten a better cost per lead or ROI or ROAS than you're getting right now, because why the hell not, basically? You can take what we spent years building up to get to with all of our ad testing and all the advertising money that we had to spend to get there, and figure out what works the best in your market and get it overnight just buying it. You're not going to save money trying to figure it all out for yourself most, if not all of the time. So you should at least see what kind of results we've got in your niche market and what you stand to gain from their template that you could actually easily get access to. We've got people using the templates that we sell to just start whole new businesses. They wanted to start a lead generation and selling business where they're selling leads to people. Take a template of ours, and start it up and start selling the leads. You can have a great passive income business specifically selling leads like that, and scales if you start using it in a big way. We've got people that use the e-commerce templates to get into e-commerce where they didn't know anything about e-commerce at all before, but because they had a winning template that promotes an item real well in country A, they used it in country B, they didn't have to have a lot of skill in order to make that work at a base level. If you're interested in that, you can also reach out to me at guaranteedppc.com. But with that said, I'll wrap everything up with that. Thank you very much for watching as usual, and I'll see you on the next one.